Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raiders. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, wipe them feet over here. That means get those likes up, man. Salute to Green Dot Gang. I see Daniel. All my people, man. Ben Bad. James Bowles. Come on, man. Lecky's already in the building. We see Martin B. Oakland fan. Raider for life. Salute to you, man. Salute to everybody also watching on Twitter and also everyone who will be listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast right after the show finishes up, man. Salute to everybody that's been rocking on the audio side of things. Once again, the numbers have been going up weekly. It's because of you guys. So, man, salute to you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Lot to talk about today. Salute to my guy, man. Michael Allen. Just got the phone with my brother right here, man. Salute, salute. If you know, you know. Salute to my dog in the building, man. Always good to see my guy. We're working on some things behind the scenes, so stay tuned. Stay tuned, man. Yes, Oakland fan, this is facts. Thank you for your support and service to all the veterans today, man. This is facts, my brother. Salute. Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. This is your guys' day. We appreciate you guys so much. Forever indebted to all the veterans out there, man. Enjoy your day. Happy Veterans Day. Facts. Let's get to some Raiders news, you guys. Salute to the Raiders PR team over on Twitter. Put some things out this morning. Raiders are making some moves, you guys. Raiders have signed Jamin Davis, linebacker, to the active roster from the practice squad. We have officially placed JPJ on the injured reserve list, so we don't know how long the timetable just yet, but it looks as though he may be sitting out for the rest of the season, and there's no reason to rush him back, but at least 4 games for JPJ moving forward. And the Raiders have signed veteran kicker Greg Joseph to the practice squad. Maybe light a little fire under Daniel Carlson's ass because he's been really bad as of late. And, this is a guy in Greg Joseph that, has been around for a while now, played for Cleveland, Tennessee, Minnesota, the Giants, Washington, the Jets. Career-wise, he's made 116 field goals on 141 attempts. He's made also 157 extra points on 173 attempts as well. 31 years old, been around for a while, you guys, but it's good that we got a backup there on the practice squad in case Daniel Carlson continues to struggle. In terms of Jamin Davis, this is a great move. Once again, we could use some help there at the linebacker spot, but don't be shocked, you guys, if we use the physical. This dude is a physical dude, man. Like, if you look at, he looks insane, you guys. 6'4", 234, looks like a machine. I would not be shocked if we kind of used him as a pass rusher, edge rusher. This is a guy that, has gotten to the quarterback 8 times in the 4 years that he's been in the NFL up to this point. He has struggled as a former first-round pick of the Commanders. But I'm excited, man. He's still young. There's still a lot of tread left on those wheels. He's only 26 years old, you guys, and he's a physical demon. So it's good to see him pull up. We have struggled there at the linebacker position all year long. So good to see that we brought him up. He is officially signed off the practice squad. And again, we did sign veteran kicker Greg Joseph to the practice squad. So those are the moves for today. And again, you guys, JPJ has officially been placed on the IR, with the ankle injury. So there you have it, man. Let me see. He said, I stopped listening to the Raiders. Carlos, I'm not even mad at you, brother. Not even mad at you. Salute to Ant. Coffee and Convo. Salute to the vets. This is facts. This is facts. Marcus, we did not pick anybody up outside of Greg Joseph, the veteran kicker that we placed on the practice squad in case Daniel Carlson continues to struggle. And I think this was a great move. Again, there's a reason why Greg Joseph is a free agent at this point. He's not the greatest option out there. But again, this kind of lights a fire up under Daniel Carlson's ass, so to speak. And also, Carlson's on the last year of his deal, you guys. So I think that he would want to get his shit together here soon in order to find another job elsewhere, because I do not believe it's going to be with the Raiders. But we'll see if he can clean it up. Tom McMahon was officially fired last week. So, Pete has talked about that a ton at the presser. So maybe, just maybe, Carlson, potentially gets a little better with Tom McMahon out there. I don't see it. But again, we moved on from Tom McMahon, and Carlson has struggled under him mightily. So we'll see what it is. We'll see what it is. And I love what Tim just said. Time for Carlson to compete. Talk that talk, my brother. Talk that talk. So those are your updates for our Raiders thus far on the day. Also, salute to my guy, Jersey Raider, man. Yes, Brian Daboll was let go yesterday from the New York Giants. And McDaniels, new head coach OC combo. No, I do not want anything to do with Brian Daboll in terms of being a head coach. Now, if we wanted to bring him in as an offensive coordinator, I'm good with that. He has some really good years up there in Buffalo, helping shift, Josh Allen into superstardom out there in Buffalo. I would love if we move on from Chip Kelly. We're going to get there in a minute. We're going to talk about Chip and Tom and that article from Florio. But again, if we do choose to move on from Chip Kelly after year one, after making him the highest paid OC in football, I would definitely love to take a look at least Brian Daboll as the OC. And then you could potentially look at Joe Brady as your head coach. He'll be looking at some other options outside of Buffalo this year. I think he's going to take advantage of his name right now, because he's definitely heating up in terms of head coaching vacancies in the offseason. They have one of the better run games in football. Yeah, they're coming off a nasty loss where they couldn't get the offense rolling in Miami. Miami's always a tough place to play. But again, I think Joe Brady is going to be a great option out there in the offseason. And I know a lot of people are mentioning Brian Daboll potentially going back to Buffalo. From what I've heard and from what I've seen and speaking to Buffalo fans and some creators of Buffalo, that Brian Daboll didn't really leave on great terms. Him and Sean McDermott don't really have a great relationship. It would make sense for him to go back up there where he's had some success with Josh Allen, right? If he does go back to being an OC, which I believe he will. I think that would be a great place for him to go. But I don't know how really bad that relationship is between him and McDermott. So I do expect Joe Brady to go out there, take some interviews, and potentially become a head coach. And they're going to need a new OC out there in Buffalo. The fit is there. The need is there. But again, I don't know what that relationship looks like in terms of him and McDermott, because I've always heard that, it was an up and down kind of turbulent relationship up there in Buffalo. So salute to my guy, Jersey. But would love to have Brian Daboll as an OC. I would love to have McDaniels as an OC. But again, Miami's not giving up on him just yet. They fired their GM. They're keeping him around. They're coming off of a big win against Buffalo. They moved a few pieces before the deadline. I don't know if Miami's willing to just fire him just yet. We shall see. Only time will tell. But if he goes back to being an OC, I have to be real. I'm taking McDaniels over Brian Daboll 10 times out of 10. I think that he's a really, really, really bright offensive mind. I just think that he doesn't need to be a head coach. Some guys are just meant to be coordinators. You know what I mean? And not be a head coach. And I think that McDaniels is one of them. I like his energy too. He seems like a good dude. Guy that you smoke a blunt with and have a drink with, but that's just me. Salute to Mando. Despite it have the power to fire Brennan Carroll. That's a great question, rather great question. I'll say this, Brennan Carroll has not been the greatest offensive line coach for us, right? But also, realistically, going into the season, there wasn't really a lot of talent there anyways, Mando. We're dealing with some injuries. Colton Miller out potentially for the season. I know he's trying to fight back and get back into the lineup here soon. I would not, rush him to get back anytime soon. JPJ's out. You're putting Meredith at the center position and transitioning, JPJ to the guard spot, which again, he's on the IR officially now. But I think that you got to give him, and I'm not saying that Brendan Carroll was a great offensive line coach by any means, you guys, but we didn't really have a lot of talent out there. I want to see what he can do with what we have now moving forward. I'm hoping that Caleb Rogers is elevated, which he should be. I do not want to see Will Putnam at left guard again by any means. We don't know where Parham is. I'm assuming he's going to miss some time. I know that they said it was potential high ankle sprain, and they're saying that he may be ready to go against the Dallas Cowboys. If it's a high ankle sprain and being that heavy, that's a big dude. Like, I don't see him being ready for Monday Night Football. So I'm expecting Caleb Rogers to be elevated. Well, not to be elevated, to be active and no longer inactive, which they've been doing week in and week out this season, his rookie year. I want to see an offensive line, this week that looks totally, totally different. I would love to see Stone Forsythe out of the lineup and you put Charles Grant at at left tackle, but that's probably not going to happen. But in a perfect world, you see Charles Grant at left tackle. You got Caleb Rogers there at left guard. You got Jordan Meredith there at center. And then at right guard, man, it is what it is. They're going to put Kappa out there. He's the veteran. He has struggled this year mightily. But again, honestly, who are you going to put out there right guard right now? You could potentially push Glaze in the right guard. Salute to our guy, DJ Glaze. We had a great show with him last night. If you guys didn't get a chance, run that show back. Good dude. Love DJ Glaze mentality. He's such a good dude. But maybe they look at him, push him in the right guard, and they put Grant at right. They put Grant at right tackle. I don't know. But again, I don't really know who will come in right now and help at right guard outside of Alex Kappa. So, but we'll see. But again, we'll get some more information soon. I'm working on some things, man, though, in terms of Spy Tech, man. I'm trying to, line something up so we can kind of hear his thought process on what's going on in Las Vegas and, the relationship between him and Pete Carroll and all the other stuff that's going on, in terms of him. So the thing is, you would assume, right, he's the general manager, so he has way more power than a Pete Carroll. But again, if you fire Brendan Carroll, this is why you don't allow your head coaches to come in and have the power that Pete Carroll has. He signed two of his sons. If you get rid of one of them, Pete's going to be like, what the hell is going on? What's going on? And then again, you lose all of them. But I'm okay with that. If Spy Tech pulls rank and says Brendan Carroll has to go and Pete doesn't like it, well, guess what? Get your walking papers too, because one is the head coach. The other one is the general manager. Let Spy Tech play the general manager. Simple and plain. So, but I would assume he has the power too. But again, we don't know the power, the balance of power right now going on in Las Vegas between Spy Tech and Pete Carroll. So only time will tell. Let me see. Ben says, get JPJ. It'll be good to hear his take. I'm definitely going to reach out to him soon. I want to give him some time to heal up from the ankle injury and don't want to, hit him up right when he gets placed on the IR. I'm giving a little time to breathe, but I'll definitely reach out to him. I have his agent's number on my phone. We spoke before, and I'll definitely reach out to him again. Man, he is terrible, Rick. He's terrible. He's terrible. He's terrible. Like really bad. And I hate to sound like an ass, but it just is what it is. Lane Robinson is a very, very bad football player. It makes no sense to me at all that you move on, from McClendon Curtis and you bring in Layden Robinson to the practice squad. To me, I would have kept, McClendon over there over Layden Robinson 10 times out of 10. He's not a good football player. He's not a good offensive lineman at all. At all. Elijah, salute to my guy. You think Pete is going after the season? I do. I think that things are going to change. I think that the Raiders, Tom and Spy Tech are going to say we got to move on from Geno. We can, I think, save roughly $10 million moving off from him this offseason. I think that it'd be $18 million. I think there's $18 million on the books, but you can save $10 million. I mean, I forgot what it is. Like, basically, we probably owe him I think $8 million or something like that. We'll go over that later on down the line. But I know that you could save a few dollars. I think it's $10 million moving on from Geno Smith. You're still going to eat some of that contract regardless. But again, I think you save like roughly $10 million moving on from him in the offseason. So, and if Spytek and them say, hey, we're moving on from Geno, I think the writing is on the wall for Pete Carroll. He came in and, he made the move to bring in this guy, and, he's going to die on that sword. That's just what I think personally. I think that Pete wants to have his guys in the building. He wants to have things to go his way. And again, we'll see here soon. But if I'm a betting man, Elijah, I think that, if this continues to go down the way it's going right now, 2-7, and we end up with 4 or 5 wins this year, I think that Mark Davis and company are going to move on. So is what it is. Let me see. David Walker, man, good to see you in the building, my brother. Salute. Let me see. Daboll does have ties in New England and Brady, so he could definitely be an option if we don't retain Chip. And, and we'll see, because once again, there's rumors, and this is Mike Florio, you guys. So you have to take what he says kind of with a grain of salt. I'm not going to get all hyped up about anything that Florio says. He's a known Raider hater, but he did have a interesting article, or, a few words about the Raiders on his show. He did state something along the lines of the relationship between Chip and Brady, kind of alluding to, like, are they a package deal, so to speak? This is what he had to say on Pro Football Talk. He said, I just wonder how the coaching staff will change after this season. There's been some talk, and I don't know what's accurate or not. Tom Brady is not going to text me and tell me, and I don't have the keys to the inner sanctum, but if Chip Kelly is a Brady guy, and I don't know how this all plays out after the season, Florio said on PFT Live last week, Pete Carroll was a one and done 31 years ago with the Jets. And we see one and done, like when one and done happens, we're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Then I pull up our story with all the one and dones from the past 10 years. And it's like, hell, it happens a lot. I just don't know where this is going for the Raiders. And I wonder what Tom Brady thinks. Now, there was reports earlier, I believe August, September, about, about Pete and Chip having a working relationship. There was a few, videos and pictures that went viral on Twitter. I remember the NFL posted something along the lines. They were in the suite together calling the game. And the tweet said, Tom Brady and Raiders Chip Kelly work closely together to help the game plan. This was the Raiders Chargers game on ESPN week 2. So, there's a lot of rumors of where is that relationship? Was Tom Brady the one to bring in Chip Kelly? And if so, he's a name to keep an eye on moving forward, because again, maybe there's been some rumors and stuff behind the scenes, you guys, of Chip Kelly's, kind of being stuck in his ways, so to speak, and kind of getting in the way of a few things. Now, maybe he's kind of throwing his weight around. This is just alleged because of his relationship with Tom Brady. Only time will tell, but they did make him the highest paid OC, $6 million per, to get him out of Ohio State, where he was in a really good situation. I mean, look right now, they're coming off of a national championship, and they're the number 1 team in the nation right now. So it cost a lot of money to get him out of that really good situation. And yet again, we don't know if this was a Brady move or whatnot. Only time will tell. But again, we have to keep an eye on the whole Chip Kelly situation, because I feel personally that if anyone is going to be thrown under the bus from Pete Carroll, it's going to be Chip Kelly, and it's going to be Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham kind of rolling over from the previous regime, right? He did have a job opportunity with Jacksonville, chose to stay and remain in Las Vegas. Chip Kelly, again, we don't know if Pete Carroll was the guy that went out and handpicked him. Once again, it could have been a Brady spy tech move. We don't know. But it sounds like at 2-7, there's a lot of, pulling this way behind the scenes. And as Raider fans, we're not strangers to this. Again, we watched last year with all of the chefs in the kitchen, so to speak, the Marvin Lewises, the APs, the Joe Philbins, all those guys that were there in the building. We're not new to this. We're true to this, right? We've seen this year in and year out. So, but again, there's going to be a lot of change in the offseason. I think Graham is gone for sure, definitely. Chip, I don't know yet. Only time will tell. But I think that it starts with Graham. And, if it's up to Pete, Brendan Carroll is going to stick around. Again, there's not a ton of talent over there on that unit. Again, we drafted a few guys, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant. Hopefully we get a chance to see what they look like moving forward. And we may have to at this point. We've kind of been put in a position that we have to force our rookies to go out there and give us some snaps now because of the Colton Miller injury, the JPJ injury, and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, man. Yeah. Salute to Mikey. Salute to my guy, David Walker, on a $5 smackaroonie. People forget that Spytech was a scout before a GM. Maybe he's scouting for next year, and that's why we haven't heard from him. I could be wrong. No, and you are right, David Walker. Once again, I've said this a million times on the show. When I was at the Shrine Bowl, the whole week, everybody kept coming up to me praising Spytech and saying that he is a scout at heart. He is a guy that loves evaluation, loves to look at the draft, loves to identify the next group of talent at the next level. Reminds me, of Champ a little bit in that aspect of they're kind of scouts at heart. Now, is that a good thing? Great, right? You need a GM that can go out there and identify talent. Again, we can't really judge him off of this draft class, David, right? Because we just really don't know what these guys look like. They're not getting the options to go out there and play. Jack Besh is not getting enough reps. We don't know who he is at this point. My boy Dante, he struggled, last week, and he struggled this season. He'll be the first to tell you. So again, but still, there's a lot of room for him to develop. We don't know who Caleb Rogers is yet. We don't know who Charles Grant is yet. We don't know who JJ Pegues is yet. We don't know who Tonka Hemingway is yet. We don't know who Cam Miller is. The list goes on. We don't know who Lindenberg is at this point. He's kind of been relegated to special teams. So I can't be a judge of this draft class. I hate when I see people go out there and say, oh my God, Spytech sucks. He had a terrible draft. We don't know yet. We have no clue because this regime, this coaching staff refuses to play him. I mean, honestly, outside of Tommy Touchdowns, who's no longer on this roster, how can you judge him for this draft class? We don't know what they have yet. We don't. We've seen glimpses of greatness with Ashton Genty, and that's going to only continue to go, up because he's, once again, a one of one. But again, we just don't know what this draft class is capable of doing until this coaching staff pulls their heads out their asses and plays them. So Demando. Joe Brady, head coach, and Mike McDaniels as OC dream scenario. The thing is this. That'll never happen, Mando, because of Joe Brady being an offensive-minded guy. His bread and butter is being an OC. Mike McDaniels is going to want to come in and run his system as an OC. If you go bring in a defensive-minded head coach, let's just say, you say, hey, Jesse Minter, young, bright, great defensive football mind out there with the Chargers. He is working wonders out there with the injuries on both sides of the football. They're putting a really good product out there defensively with the Chargers. If you brought in Jesse Minter as a defensive-minded head coach, and then you brought in Mike McDaniels to be your OC, a guy that has his own playbook, then we'd be cooking with grease. But you're not going to bring in two offensive-minded guys because, again, one is going to be stepped on. And that's going to be Mike McDaniels. Brady's going to want to call his own plays. And then, at that point, what are you doing with Mike McDaniels? So if you're going to bring in Mike McDaniels as an OC, if he says, you know what, I don't want to be a head coach anymore, if there's no opportunity for him to continue as a head coach and he goes back down to being an OC, I think that he's going to go somewhere where they have a defensive-minded head coach where he can run his scheme offensively. That's just, what I think. But I don't think that pairing works at all, Mando. Salute to you, my brother. Trip. Yes, man. Definitely. Geno has struggled this year, and that's an understatement. He's 35 years old. He'll be 36 next year. He's having a very, very bad season this year, leading the league in picks right now. It's just tough to watch this version of Geno Smith because we thought we'd at least get, a competent Geno Smith in the building. And again, year one, Chip Kelly, new system, I know there's going to be some bumps and bruises, but watching week one against New England, we thought, okay, we're on to something here, right? We're on to something. He started all 9 games. He has 1,844 yards in the air, 11 touchdowns to go with 12 picks. He's not having a great season. I think that he's cooked. I don't see Geno Smith coming back next year at all. And once again, that may be the downfall of Pete Carroll. I think that, Spy Tech and company are going to pull rank, and they're going to say, hey, it's time to go get another quarterback. And that's where Pete says, you know what, let me get my walking papers. And I think it's going to be a situation where they allow him to leave on his own accord. But yes, I do believe that Geno was cooked. This is not a great version of Geno Smith. It's not a good version. It's not a mid version. This is a very, very bad version of Geno Smith. This is the Jets version of Geno Smith. So yes, he's cooked. Salute to my guy, Trip. Let me see. Justin, if I'm a betting man, I would say yes. But I would go 90-10. Geno's gone. I would go maybe 60-40 that Pete is gone. But we'll see. We'll see. Hey, man, Pete may say, hey, it just didn't work, Geno. I got you a bag. We're going to go in a different direction. Maybe Pete wants to continue to coach after this, and he's okay with bringing in a different quarterback. We shall see. Only time will tell. But again, you got to allow Spy Tech to do his job. You got to allow Tom Brady to do his job. You got to allow these guys to go find that next talent at the quarterback position, whether it's through trade, whether it's through free agency, whether it's through the draft. You have to allow your GM and a guy in Tom Brady, who was probably arguably the best player at that position ever, to go locate the next guy. And I don't think that we have him in the building right now. Let me see. Justin Stubbe says, Seawood picked off Geno a few times when Geno was on the Jets. So salute. Let me see. Hate to be that guy, but man, I don't know about no. I don't think that's the plan at all. And if that's the plan, I think that you're going to lose a lot of us in Raider Nation. I believe that if you have a team that is what are we averaging right now? You guys, like 15 per game on the offensive side of the football. I think it's like 15 points per game. We have one of the worst offenses in football. If they find a way to name Chip Kelly the successor to Pete Carroll, we're in trouble. Because, again, that's never worked. With the Niners, it didn't work. With Philly, it didn't work. He is not a head coach. He's a coordinator at best. And maybe he just belongs at the collegiate level where he worked wonders with all that talent they had at Ohio State. I don't know. Only time will tell. But, again, I think that's the theme of this show today, you guys, is only time will tell. But you would lose a ton of us in Raider Nation if they named Chip Kelly the successor over Pete Carroll. That would be a terrible, terrible, terrible move from this, this upper management, Spy Tech, Brady, and Mark Davis. It'd be a nasty, nasty move. Salute to my brother, Michael Allen, again, man. G, doing a great job, bro. Always good information. I appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Salute to my guy, Michael Allen. Thank you so much on the $5 holla. And thank you more than anything, the kind words, my brother. Salute to you, man. My guy. It's always good to see my guy Mike in the building, man. Let me see. Get some questions in, you guys. Once again, yesterday some news did drop. We did the interview with DJ Glaze, and we kind of talked briefly about the JPJ situation. Again, it's difficult when you're interviewing players to kind of go into detail of what's going on with the team because, we got other things that going on at hand, right? But JPJ has officially been placed on the IR, you guys. Jamin Davis has been signed off the practice squad, so he is elevated. He will be out there Monday night. I don't know if he's going to be active or inactive. We shall see. Again, they may use him as more of an edge rusher, pass rusher type situation. He has the body type. I think that he could go out there and get after opposing quarterbacks. And then we did bring in Greg Joseph, the veteran kicker, and signed him to the practice squad. But JPJ is officially on the IR. We do not know a timetable for him. We have no timetable for Colton Miller at this point. So I think that it's clear cut that it's time to give the young guys some looks out there. It's time to let Charles Grant. It's time to let Caleb Rogers, baptism by fire, so to speak. Let them go out there and learn on the fly with our two best offensive linemen potentially out for the season. So, boom. Salute to my guy, Jersey Raider, on a $5 special. Didn't Chip say that he doesn't want to be a head coach, that he fell back in love with being an OC, working hand in hand with players? I believe there was something along the lines of that. I don't know if it was verbatim, Jersey, but it's easy to say that and then an opportunity lands in your lap and you don't take it, right? It's easy to say, would you rather get paid $6 million per to be an OC, Or would you rather get paid north of $10 million to be a head coach in a no state tax situation in Las Vegas where you can make more money and set up your future, right? So even if he did say that, once again, I do believe there was something to that effect of him saying that in the offseason when he came over from Ohio State. But again, it's like a pay raise and you get an opportunity to try and right your wrongs from your time with the Niners, from your time with Philly. I don't see him turning that down. I don't see him saying, I'm cool. I'll remain an OC and turn down a job with the Raiders. I don't see it. But you never know. We don't know where Chip's mind frame is right now. Let me see. Dolph, what's the percentages for Tyree and Kuntz to be back next year? Easy to replace Dolph. Kuntz, I believe, is gone. He's a free agent unless he comes back on a major, inexpensive 1 year, $5-6 million deal. Again, it takes some time to come back from those knee injuries. Usually it takes a season of struggles to get back to, that form that you were previously, right? But if I'm a betting man, I think that Kuntz is going to walk in the offseason, and Tyree is still has 1 more year left on his deal. He still has 1 more year left on his deal, so he's not going anywhere. And then next year, if Tyree does play, we're going to decline that 5th year option. You're not bringing Tyree back on the 5th year option, but he still has 1 more year left on his deal. It's the 4th year of his deal next year, so he's not going anywhere unless whoever's in the building trades him and moves on from him. Tyree will be a Raider. He's still under contract. Let me see. I agree. LT, I would love to see Laki Tassi out there. It's fun watching him on a sideline week in and week out there rooting for his team. And, you can't teach what he has, the power, the measurables. But again, I don't think that they want to destroy him before he gets a chance to actually, kind of put it all together. He's the type of guy that you want to develop behind the scenes. He's so raw and so new to the sport that you don't want to go out there and potentially mentally mind fuck him and he's done. You know what I mean? Like, he has a lot to learn in terms of becoming an offensive lineman at the next level. Handwork, feet work, technique. There's so much that you need to learn coming over from being a rugby player. So again, I don't want to rush him out there. Would it be great to see him potentially line up as a fullback and be like that extra blocker for Ashton Genty? Hell yeah, that'd be fun. But to think that you're going to get actually really anything out of him at the guard spot or wherever you choose to play him, it'd be tough. He's not ready to go yet. He's not. He's a very raw prospect that is very, very new to this sport. And again, you don't want to mentally, destroy him before he has an opportunity to kind of put it all together. Before he sees the field. But I would love to see him out there on some fullback type shit. Like, I've been saying this, man. I would love to see Laki Tassi and JJ Pegues out there being those extra blockers. Like with Colton out potentially for the season, with JPJ out potentially for the season, it would be great to just see Laki Tassi and JJ Pegues be out there playing some fullback, kind of helping there in the blocking game. That would be fun to watch. At least give us something to be entertained by on the offensive side of the football. And I think that would help Ashton Genty get rolling because of the struggles with the offensive line and those injuries that have occurred recently. So, paper chase, man. Jalen Carter, one of the best defensive tackles in football. We were screaming from the mountaintops to bring him in. And yet again, you go Tyree Wilson. And Darnell Wright is just phenomenal. He's doing great things at right tackle out there for Chicago. He absolutely – was it Brian Burns that he smoked? My brother Sanjit shared something on Twitter the other day, and I retweeted. I think it was Brian Burns. Holy shit. Absolutely own this dude. Darnell Wright's different. He's different. BJ, Raiders suck again, but at least my Heat are great, man. Salute to you, man. At least you got something to be happy about. Right now, I'm just rooting for my San Jose Sharks, and I'm rooting for my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It just is what it is. My Kings are about to finally blow it up, which is great. They're 3-7. They're going to start moving off some of these contracts, the Sabonis of the world. Yeah, basketball is not even something that's even – it's in my rear view right now already, 10 games in. So salute to you, man. Appreciate you, brother, for pulling up. And thank you on the $2. S. Dot, my guy. Yeah, I want to see Wild Wagner try guard or blocking tight end, which would be great. And yes, Pagis and Tassi at fullback. Straight murder show, Graphk. Once again, S. Dot, how do we know more than these guys in the building? S. Dot, it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy, man. Gio, my dog, good to see you in the building. Also, man, salute to my brother, Hug D's in the building. It's good to see the mob father himself. And my brother Wasted is in the building. We just got done arguing on a phone for over an hour about the LeBron Michael Jordan debate again. Yeah, salute to my brother in the building, man. And he says that S. Dot is a chubby chaser, which I definitely agree with. Dope to see you bring on players. Crazy where OLV was and now. Salute. Appreciate you, Gio. That means a lot, man. Salute to my guy. And me and DJ talked again last night. He will be on the show again very soon. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. He had a good time, you guys. He had a good time yesterday. So he said, whenever you want me back, you let me know. So anytime we want to bring DJ back on and pick his brain a little bit, you know what I want to do? Waste it while you're here in the building in the off season. Let's get Denzel Good and DJ Glaze on the show together. It's funny because after that film breakdown that we did with Good about DJ Glaze, we broke down his tape. They followed each other on Instagram. So it was cool. I would like to bring those two together in the off season. That'd be a fun show. So if you guys want to see a Denzel Good and DJ Glaze show, let me know in the comment section. Put some ones in the comment section and we'll definitely make that show happen. So to my guy Spivey, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network membership. Salute to my brother, man. Appreciate you. The Kevin Nash of Mount Shillmore gifting 5 of them things. If you missed out on those, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Again, it helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network. Rick, I believe I just reached out to him. I think it was last week. So stay tuned. He has not seen the message yet, but I definitely reached out to Miles Burris and see if we can bring him on. Let me see. Hey man, I'm on the Ty Simpson train, my brother. I think that he is the most NFL-ready quarterback coming into next year's draft class. His processing is just amazing. I think he can make every throw. I know he only has 9 starts now up to this point, but I'm really excited. I think that he is going to translate at the next level. I'm hyped. I'm hyped about Ty Simpson at the next level. Hopefully, wherever we're drafting, he's available and Spytech and company pull the trigger and bring him in. I don't want to hear about the Alabama quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah. It worked years ago with the snake with us, former Alabama guy. Jalen Hurts, regardless of how he gets it done, he's getting it done. He's a Super Bowl winner, MVP in a Super Bowl. I don't care about the whole Alabama thing. I don't care about that. I love what Ty Simpson is doing out there. He would be a fun prospect to watch come in and be the next guy in Las Vegas. Gio says, get Gruden on. I don't know if he would do that. But that'd be fun. That would definitely be fun. Paper Chase, man, appreciate you, brother. Graphk, to go to this YouTube shit. I don't see other big Raider YouTubers having Raiders on their show. Salute to you, Heat Check. The thing is, man, we pride ourselves on just being in our own lane. You know what I mean? I don't look at anybody else as competition. I don't look at anybody else, what they're doing. We just do what we do over here. You know what I mean? Simple and plain. That's no knock to anybody. What we do here is what we do here. I don't look at anybody as competition outside of myself. So we're going to continue to raise the bar, bring on some more dope guests. We got some dope stuff pulling up. You guys are going to be really hyped about some of these guests that are going to be pulling up very soon. Just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. We're putting together some dope stuff. Y'all think it's goated now? Just wait. So the Heat Check, my guy. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, again, salute to everybody listening on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Salute. Let me see. Ty Simpson has the it factor. This is facts. He's a competitor, man. I'm excited to see what he's going to look like at the next level. Real talk. Yeah, Brandon. Facts, man. Facts. Salute to my guy. Let me see. Hey, Lucky, I'm thankful that I can be therapy for the nation, bro. That means a lot, man. He checked. We've had on C Wood, and again, I got to reach out to my brother. We already talked about him coming on the show again soon, and he was like, "Let's do it." We just got to come up with a date, But if you haven't checked it out yet, go check out on the channel the interview with C Wood. But that's a layup, man. C Wood is family of the show. That's my guy. We'll definitely bring on C Wood again very, very soon. That's my guy. Let me see. Get a few more questions in, you guys. Once again, this is not going to be a long live. I just wanted to kind of talk about the Mike Florio article about the Chip Kelly and Tom Brady dynamic. He didn't really land on Plymouth Rock with anything. He kind of just said a whole lot of nothing. But again, there are a lot of people questioning that dynamic and that relationship if they are kind of like a package deal, so to speak. So, yeah, he checked. Go check the channel. We did like an hour-long interview with my guy live and in living color in Las Vegas. Judo, I reached out to my guy. And I literally just told him the other day on Instagram to check his DM. Knapp is one of my favorite football players of all time. One of my favorite running backs of all time. I grew up watching him week in and week out. My uncle was one of his best friends. My uncle used to work for the Raiders during training camp in Napa, and they became really close. What's crazy is Knapp actually got my uncle into religion. My uncle was like a crazy, like he's like a Bible thumper. Anywhere I go when I see my uncle now, come here, nephew. Pull me to the side, and he just goes into the word immediately. And that's because of Napoleon Kaufman. He got him into the word when he was working for the Raiders. We used to go to all the training camps in Napa, and we would go up and get autographs and hang out with the guys because my uncle worked for him. So Knapp is a good dude. And I believe he owns a church still somewhere out there in like Livermore or Antioch, somewhere in that area over there, Brentwood, somewhere in that scope over there. DJ, I have spoken to Thornton. And, yeah, I have. And he knows he has to do better. But again, we just gave him some words of encouragement. I'm not here to beat my guys down because they had a bad game. We got to build these guys up. He's young, man. And he definitely just said, I appreciate you so much, brother. That's what we do. Again, he knows. We don't have to hit him up and tell him you struggled. He knows. So what do? We build him up. That's what we do over here. We build our guys up. Lucky, it's crazy. He has a card signing, and I just reached out to his representation through email as well to see if we can get him on the show. But he has a card signing in a couple days. Jason, are you in the chat? Salute to my guy, Demon King. If you're in the chat, let me know. But I think they have a card signing him. And is it no, it's him and Darren McFadden next week out here in Dallas. So me and Jason go over there, check him out, and I'm going to try and lock him in and see if I can get him on the show. So stay tuned for that. But definitely, Bo would be insanity. That would be crazy to get that. That's bucket list shit. But I only have 4, maybe 5 bucket list interviews. And he's one of them. Definitely. Let me see. Would love Zach Crockett. Would love Michael Crabtree. John would love Lamont Jordan. I know me and Stu are also working on getting another former Raider on, Justin Fargas. We talked about him. He was going through some things legally with the NFL at the time. I believe that stuff is done. And I know he's working very closely with the running back group and working with the Raiders. So definitely want to reach back out to Fargas and see if we can get him on as well. I'm starting this alumni series very soon, you guys. So stay tuned. We're starting a new alumni series. We're going to reach out and get some of the former alumni guys, get them on the show, do like some 10, 15-minute segments. So that's what I'm working on behind the scenes. So stay tuned. Oh, Teo's my guy, Mr. Silver. That's my guy. When we went to Vegas, we've actually stayed in his Airbnb. That Teo's my guy. It's funny to see him and Stu together as well. They're fucking comedy, but Teo was my dog. He went sharp dressing motherfucker too. Every time you see Teo, sharp suit on, Teo was a dog. I love Teo Johnson. That's my guy. Salute to Teo, man. 2-4. Graphk, having great interviews with Raider people is just awesome. Can't wait until the Princess of Darkness, who will be on soon. You know what? I love that you mentioned that too. I'm going to reach out to her today and see if I can lock in a date in time so we can get that rolling. Would like to hear Al Davis stories, Gruden. Why not? That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Judo, we've already had Jacoby Ford on, brother. Go back and check out the show. I believe that one is on Waste's channel. We did that one live on Waste's channel. We had Jacoby on, I believe, for over an hour. So check it out. We already interviewed Jacoby Ford. But we that's our guy. We'll definitely reach back out to him and bring him on again at some point soon. So let me see. Get a few more in, you guys, before we get out of here. Gotham City. We lined that up already. It just never happened. And again, you know, I know that Richie's got a lot going on. He has a new podcast that they're doing, and they're gaining a lot of momentum and steam with that. You know, but we follow each other on social media. We've spoken to each other in the DMs several times. We just got to lock in. Tony, we did have Seawood on before. Definitely. Let me see. Q, I have not reached out, but I definitely will reach out to see if I can get Crabtree on. That'd be dope. Yes, Low Wage. Once again, our show will be starting very soon. Very soon. I just spoke to him on his birthday about a week or so ago. We talked about getting the show going again here soon. There were some things behind the scene that he had to work on with the NFL, you guys, that I cannot discuss. It's not my story to tell. But, you know, we had to put a hold on our show. But it's definitely still happening. Stay tuned. The running back report will be happening here on OLV Raiders Network and on Spook's YouTube channel, which I'm running behind the scenes. So we'll be running from both channels very soon. Stay tuned. Look, maybe towards the off season, once everything is situated, we'll probably get that rolling in the off season. You know what, man? And we're going to talk about that, you know, as the week progresses. I kind of want to get, you know, a better idea of where we are in terms of the injury report and all that stuff. We'll do our final prediction probably Friday, you know, but again, this is definitely a winnable game. Their defense is really, really bad. Raider boys. You know what, man? I'll probably do a breakdown tomorrow. You know what? We'll do a breakdown. Let's do a coffee and convo Raiders Cowboys preview tomorrow. Definitely will do that. I'll put it together tonight and we'll get rolling. But their defense has like been a historically bad defense. But again, they got Quinnen Williams, you know, lining up right next to Frank Clark. The interior of that defensive line is going to be way, way, way more improved. And then our offensive line has took a step back with JPJ out of the lineup with the injury. So Monday night would be the week where Dallas rights their wrongs defensively, puts a ton of pressure on Geno, and we find a way to lose the game, right? It'd be crazy. But again, it's a very winnable game. Their defense has been really, really bad. But again, our offense has been really, really bad. So, and we don't know what defense is going to show up week in and week out. And Dallas has one of the better offenses in football. So, you know, they got CeeDee Lamb, they got Pickens, Javonte Williams out there at the running back position. You know, Dak has been kind of up and down, but they still have one of, in terms of production, the best offenses in football. So I think they still have a top 5, top 10 offense. And we'll go over all that again this week. But it's a winnable game. And I live in Dallas, and I would love to beat the Cowboys. I think you have 2 back-to-back very winnable games. Dallas, because of that bad defense, Cleveland, because of that terrible offense. They have one of the craziest defenses in football, though, top 3 defense in the NFL. But these are 2 very winnable ball games back-to-back weeks. But again, we're the Raiders. We find ways to Raiders shit up. Found a new way to lose to the Broncos. You know, we find ways week in and week out, you know, blown out Chiefs, blown out Colts, blown out Commanders, heartbreaker with the Bears, you know, heartbreaker with the Denver Broncos, heartbreaker with the Jacksonville Jaguars on a failed 2-point conversion. You know, what team is going to show up Monday night? We shall see. It's crazy to see a 2-7 football team have back-to-back primetime games, Thursday night football, Monday night football. It's crazy. We definitely don't deserve either one of them. But it is what it is. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Hit that subscribe button. Again, make sure for those who are joining, I'm seeing a bunch of new names in the chat, hit that subscribe button, but also run back last video that we put up. It's on Waish's channel. It's also on mine. Let us know what you guys think about the DJ Glaze interview last night. We had him on for about 40, 45 minutes. So make sure to leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about the DJ Glaze interview. Again, there's several interviews that we've done in recent weeks. Dante was just on the show a few weeks ago. He's been on 3 times, like the past month and a half. The Dylan Lowby stuff, go run back, check them out. Let us know what you think. Let me see. Yeah, Deb, sucks, right? Sucks. Heartbroken for decades with our boys. Factory. It's nasty work. And the thing is, the thing that sucks, Deb, is we just really do not know what direction that they're going to go right now. We're like just directionless, which is so terrible right now. We have the oldest coach in football who doesn't want to lose to win in the long run. We have Geno Smith, who is the worst version of himself ever at the quarterback position for the Raiders. We're still wondering, okay, who is Spy Tech? How much power does Brady have in the building? It's just, we really don't know. Like, what's the direction moving forward? What is the direction? We're directionless right now, and that sucks. That's the thing that I hate the most about being a Raider fan right now is, what is the direction? The great thing is we have a ton of salary cap moving forward. The next 2 seasons, we're at the top of the NFL in terms of salary cap. We have, a ton of draft picks that, hoping that Spy Tech can hit on. But again, what is the direction? Are they going to do the veteran quarterback thing again, move on from Geno and bring in another veteran guy? Are they going to finally go get a quarterback in round 1 and build on that? What is the direction? We don't know. We truly don't know. So, but other than that, man, salute to you guys. About to hit that hour mark. Appreciate you guys so much for rocking with me. Also, again, man, for those who are watching or listening on the audio side of things, salute to you guys over at Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll be live again tomorrow, you guys. Stay tuned. We'll do the Raiders-Cowboys preview. Very early preview. We know we have a Monday night game. But again, let's talk about it. Why not? We got, not too much to talk about this week because of the extended time off. But definitely want to break down that matchup. And also, salute to my guy S. Dot before we get out of here. Cowboys defensive tackles are going to thrash us. Meredith and Kappa going to look like the players that get trucked on Super Tecmo Bowl. Real ones know. S. Dot. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you. They're still going to have, problems, coming off the edge. They don't really have a lot of talent there. Rest in peace again, Marshawn Nealon. He's no longer on that team, and God bless him and his family. Condolences to him and his family. But again, I still think they're going to have a problem coming off the edge. Now, with Quentin Williams in his debut in the Cowboys jersey, I'm a little worried about Ashton Genty, right? Are we going to be able to run the football against this Dallas Cowboys defense now that they have him and Frank Clark, I believe a 3-time Pro Bowler out there on the interior of that O-line or that D-line. But again, we're beat up on that offensive line. So I don't know what team is going to show up. I'm just hoping that Caleb and Grant are out there playing a ton for us on that O-line come Monday night. Salute to S. Dot, my dog. Hug. It's nationally televised, brother, right? YouTube TV removed ESPN. Damn. I'll find a link to it and I'll send it to you, brother. I'll send it to you. Yeah, the thing is, D-Rich, I think it's $8 million in dead cap with Geno. I think that it's $18 million on the books, but you can save $10 million of that moving on from him. So I think it's $8 million. I think it's $8 million. I think that's what it is. $18 million on the books, but if you get rid of them, you save 10, and it's $8 million in dead cap, which we can afford because we have a ton of money. Are you saying 90 mil in terms of dead cap all across the board? Because we definitely are at the top of the league in terms of dead cap. We have a lot of players that we're still paying a shit ton of money. I think, okay, is that what you meant? Okay. ITK, I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm expecting Grant to play because once again, if Dylan Parham can't go and we know JPJ can't go, you're looking at potentially Caleb Rogers out there at left guard, or they're going to put Will Putnam out there again and have Alice Kappa at right guard. Maybe they start putting them in Kappa, but they have Grant and Rogers both active. We shall see. Only time will tell. But I'm hoping to see both those guys get some live bullets Monday night against that Dallas defense, because I think this will be a great starter kit for these guys, because Dallas fields one of the worst defenses in football, and then you're facing one of the best defenses in football, the Cleveland Browns, the following week. So I think it'll be a great chance to go out there and get these guys some reps and build up some confidence, and hopefully we can see them play against the Myles Garrett-led defensive line out there with Cleveland the following week. So I think this will be a great week to get those guys out there, get some live bullets, and get them prepared and get them, ready for that stingy Cleveland defense. So salute to ITK. But other than that, man, love, appreciate you guys so much. Let me get the hell out of here, finish my workout, get my pup out, take her for a walk. Salute to you guys. I will see you tomorrow, Coffee and Convo. We'll discuss Raiders, Cowboys, Monday Night Football. Love and appreciate you all. I'm out of here.